What does it mean to scale a product? I know a lot of you guys watch videos of people saying like, here's how you scale, here's how you scale. The problem is that a lot of their advice doesn't make sense to do where you are now. So in this video, I'm gonna tell you the truth about what has actually worked for me to scale products after I launch them. Let's dive in. I've launched more than 50 products on the internet now. And after crossing that $10 million threshold and looking backwards, I'll tell you that probably only 2 of my products have even been scaled. I'm gonna teach you more about what that means in this video because it is not just turn on ads, get more traffic. And on the flip side, I've actually almost killed 3 companies from overscaling. We scaled too quickly. So in this video, I'm gonna teach you how to get attention from the market, how to hear them, and then how to actually scale that traffic after all. Let's dive in. All right, trick number 1. There's a company I was building a funnel for when I was in college, and I built this funnel and I was so excited. I put it out there. They were doing this big unveiling, right? What you're trying to do as well. And they were trying to scale their company. Their company had already launched. They're just trying to go bigger. So I built this funnel and I got it out the door. And I got to tell you, it felt really good. It was one of the first big successes I ever had. And day number 1, the CEO calls me and he's like, "Oh my gosh, this is a lot of sales." And I was like, "What's up? Yeah, it's a bit of thing, and I was totally excited. It's totally a thing." And then day number 2, he calls me and he goes, "Whoa," his tone is totally different. This is a lot of sales still." And I was like, "Yeah, what's up?" And then day number 3, he called me. He was like, "Turn it off, turn it off, turn it off." And in my mind, I was like, I don't even know how. So instead I said, "Who wants less sales? Click." And I hung up on him. Dumb, don't ever do that. 2 weeks goes by and the CEO is still trying to call me. I pick up after 2 weeks. This is all stupid. I can't believe I did this. Same kind of thing happens. "Steven, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off." And I was about to go, "Who wants less sales?" And I go to hang up and he goes, "You're going to bankrupt me." And I said, "That makes no sense. Look how many sales are coming in." And he goes, "No, you don't get it." He said, "You're selling so fast that I have to use the money in the business to buy a product. I have no money to pay my people. You are literally selling us into bankruptcy." It's the first time in my life I ever realized that business systems, scaling business systems, is different than scaling sales systems. They're totally different things. And so if you're trying to learn how to scale a product, what does it mean to scale a product? There's actually 2 things you need to look at while you're doing this. The first is to look at the product itself, which is the part everyone loves. It's the let's go scale the marketing. Let's go scale the sales. Let's get more, fresh blood in the door. But on the flip side, there's business systems you have to scale too. And this is what it means when you scale too fast. You are scaling past your business systems. Fulfillment starts to suck, right? Customer support starts to be terrible. People are not as satisfied or excited. They stop talking about you because they kind of feel like they're being left behind just for $1. That's very free. That happens often. Okay, and so there is a little bit of a leapfrogging thing that happens when you are selling and when you're scaling a product. Okay, so what happens is, and beware of this. That's why I'm telling you this right now. When you get to a spot where you're going to scale, beware that this is the dance. I call it the marketing and systems dance. First, we're going to go in and we're going to boost our marketing. Yeah, we got it really big. And then you're like, "Oh crap, my systems are garbage." You're like, "Oh, let me go increase my fulfillment, hire some more people, get some more." "Oh, dang it, our systems we're too expensive now." Right? And we need to go boost, and then we go marketing, and we go back to systems and marketing and systems. And it's the seesaw. And that's what happens every time you launch and scale a product. Is be wary of that when you're scaling, to also be watching very closely your support and your fulfillment. All right, tip number 2 here, you gotta get good at listening to your market. Let me tell you what I mean by that. There's a big client that we did a lot of work for recently, and they're a big company, huge company, and it was a big client of ours, big account, and we went through all the work. We put together the launch, we put together the funnel, we got all the stuff together, we were hauling, okay? It was a huge project. At the end of the project, we had a little aftermath meeting. Let's go over the stats. Let's go over the numbers. Let's figure out exactly what it is that the market said they loved and hated. Right? You do that primarily by looking at stats. Well, we got in the meeting and we sat down and we found out that they hadn't actually installed any stats tracking systems like we told them to. That means that most of what we did is worthless. Okay, stats, and you have to understand this entire marketing game and scaling is all math. Simple math, which is great because I got terrible grades in school for math. Okay, simple math. But unless you know how many people went to a page and then moved forward to the next, unless you know how many people moved forward from that page and purchased, unless you know exactly how many people opted in then opted out, you are guessing. This entire game is dependent on you getting good data. So it's crazy to think that you can scale a product and not constantly watch the numbers. The numbers that matter the most there's two of them. The first is average cart value. So how much on average did a purchaser spend with you? And the second one is cost to acquire. How much did you spend to acquire? And as long as your average cart value is above your cost per acquisition, you're in business. If you can't track those two simple numbers, among the others I started mentioning a little bit there, you're not going to scale your product because you're straight up guessing. This is how I hear the market. This is how I listen to the market. Even me, after a while, I'm guessing. I have to get market data and feedback. And so the way that we do that is we launch the product, we get it out there, and as we begin to scale, we are watching like a hawk those numbers to see where things are. Oh, and this is the kind of stuff that goes through my head. Looks like the second upsell is sucking wind. Right? Let's go change that out. Let's plug it. Bam. I think of it like adult Legos. Okay, I'm going to take that Lego out. Boom, let's put that in. How does that work now? Okay, cool. Oh man, that email sequence. Looks like email 1, 2, and 3 are great. What's happening? They hate the headline for email 4. No one opens it. All right. You see what I'm saying? And if I don't have stats and I don't have numbers, I definitely can't scale a product because by then I'm totally guessing. That's a scary place to be because hope is a terrible marketing strategy. Before I go on to the best way to scale your actual product, I need you to subscribe because it's free for you. It means a lot for us on this channel. If you think anything is worth anything at all, if you think this is valuable at all, hit the like and the subscribe button. In the comments, I actually would love to know also though what the last product is that you've scaled or the one you're trying to scale right now so that we can help in the comments. Number 3, let's crack the traffic game. Mass traffic. How do you get lots of traffic? Huge scaling, massive numbers. I made a huge mistake early on. It was one of the first info products for me that worked. And I remember I was organically making $1,000 a week off of this product. Can you imagine that? For over a year, it brought in $1,000 a week. For me, that changed my life. Because I was working full time on top of that. That changed my life. It was huge. And I remember telling Russell, because I was working there when this happened. I remember telling Russell, dude, this thing's making $1,000 a week. It's awesome. And I remember he's like, oh, holy smokes, that's awesome. How long has it been going? I was like, 6 months. And I was like 6 months and I've never had to spend money on traffic. It was like this braggy thing. And he looked at me like I was dumb. And he goes, you should spend money on traffic with that. And I was like, I don't need to. Look at the money coming in. He's like, no, you're dumb. Like marketers should want to spend as much money to acquire customers as possible profitably. And that was a big lesson for me. That hit me really, really hard. And so what I want you to get from this is when you're scaling a product, when you're trying to scale a product, there are several ways that we do that. First and foremost, ads. Man, as quick as you can, you get to ads and you try to make them profitable. That is the fastest way to just explode. It really is. But I also don't want all eggs in one basket. One of my favorite stories from Russell talking about this, there was a time when fax machines, it was legal to fax ads. And so there were people who were making $10,000 a day just faxing ads to all the random fax machine numbers that they would get. So they'd get these huge fax lists and they would just fax and fax and they'd fax ads to all these people with fax machines. He luckily had a mentor who was like, don't get distracted. Don't do that. It's going to die. Don't get distracted. Don't do that. It's going to die. He's like, no. He's like, no, don't. He's like, don't get distracted. It's going to die. It's too sketchy. And all these other companies had built their entire business on that one traffic method. What do you think happened to them when the government came out, the FTC, and said, can't do that anymore? All their business is gone. A lot of them, their entrepreneur dreams are gone. And they had to go back and get jobs and do things that they didn't want to do. That's the point. When you're scaling a product, do not put all your eggs in a single basket. First of all, spend ads. But second of all, the long tail, tried, slow, and true method that I use to scale a product is actually just through content. What I'm doing right here, I start a podcast show for every big product I put, and then I start a YouTube channel. And between those two, it continues to pull leads, slow and low, fresh blood and low burn into these products. And it is one of the fastest ways. In fact, the best ads agencies I've ever hired won't work with me unless I'm also publishing. So there's a big key piece with this. So if you want to go and scale your product, understand that don't put all your eggs in one basket. I'm going to go Clubhouse because that's new and exciting. Careful. I don't know what the future, I don't know what the writing on the wall is there, but just careful. I wouldn't put all my eggs in one basket. I'm definitely not going to hire people with one traffic source. right? I'm not going to go and try and scale my company and my company systems on one traffic source. I'm going to go do it on TikTok. I'm not saying not to. I'm just saying be careful. You don't know what's going to happen legally on those platforms. And because that's really, really sketchy when you go and you just say, this is my one thing I'm going to go do. Okay, I choose ads, content, and email. And those are the three that I get after. If you're trying to figure out how to scale your product, I got a free gift here for you. Go to OfferLabPro.com. The link is in the description. What you'll get is 4 videos that show you more about how we do that and how we actually can help. And they're totally free, just for opting in. You don't even have to move forward after that. But they're 4 videos that will show you, hey, look, here's the styles of marketing that suck. Here's the ones that are great, and so forth. It's free to go check out. The link is in the description at OfferLabPro.com.